They say the Pacific Northwest is beautiful, but if you've ever been deep in the woods of Washington during a storm, you know how quickly that beauty turns into a nightmare. This happened to me 3 years ago, just outside a small town called Porch. I was staying in an Airbnb, a small, modern cabin, isolated from the main road. I wanted peace instead. I found something that still makes me check my rearview mirror every time it rains. It was around 11:30 p.m. The rain was drumming against the metal roof of the cabin so loudly I could barely hear my own thoughts. The power had been flickering all evening, finally cutting out completely around midnight. I was sitting in the living room, lit only by a single battery-powered lantern. Suddenly, through the heavy rhythm of the rain, I heard a sound that didn't belong. Thud, thud, thud. It was coming from the porch. It wasn't a knock. It sounded like someone was dragging something heavy across the wet wood. I stood up, my heart racing, and grabbed my flashlight. I walked to the floor-to-ceiling glass window that faced the forest. I clicked on the light about 20 feet away. Standing right at the edge of the tree line was a man. He was wearing a bright, oversized, yellow raincoat. The hood was pulled so low I couldn't see his face, but he was standing perfectly still, facing the cabin. But that wasn't the scary part. In his right hand, he was holding a massive, rusted axe, and in his left hand, he was holding my hiking boots, the ones I had left on the porch to dry. I felt a wave of nausea hit me. I backed away from the window, but as I did, he didn't run. He didn't hide. He slowly raised the axe and pointed it directly at the glass door. Then he started to walk. Squelch, squelch, squelch. His heavy boots hit the mud as he approached the porch steps. I ran to the door, making sure the deadbolt was turned. I realized then that the thudding sound from earlier wasn't him dragging something. It was him chopping at the wooden support beams under the porch. He was trying to collapse the entrance. I scrambled for my phone, but there was no signal in the storm. I retreated to the bathroom, the only room without windows, and locked myself in. For the next 2 hours, I heard him. He wasn't trying to break the glass. He was just walking, circling the cabin every few minutes. He would drag the axe head across the siding of the house. Screech, screech, then silent, total, deafening silence. I stayed in that bathroom until the sun came up. When I finally walked out, the man was gone. But when I looked at the glass door, I saw something that made me drop to my knees. Written in the condensation on the outside of the glass were 4 words. Next time, lock the windows. I checked the kitchen. One of the small windows near the floor had been slid open. He had been inside the house while I was in the bathroom. He could have killed me at any moment, but he chose to play with me instead. I drove away that morning and never called the owner. He hoosed left. To the man in the yellow raincoat, I hope the forest finally took you, because I'm never coming back.